What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. A new theory says that Black Widow might actually be an enhanced, a super soldier somewhere along the lines of what Captain America was, based on whatever serum they would have had at the time over in the Red Room. And the guy who wrote the theory, Thomas Bacon, over at Screen Rant, included a ton of really great points, but there's actually a couple more. Today we're going to break down the entirety of this theory, then I'm going to add my 2 plot points to why I think there's a real likely chance that there is some sort of enhancement going on with Black Widow. We've watched it on screen for a long time in the Infinity Saga, and when I point some certain things out, they're definitely going to make sense. We're going to break the whole thing down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel-related stuff, including 2 copies of the limited edition Infinity Saga box set, one of which we're giving away in just over a week. If you want to be entered to win, all the same rules apply. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So as I said just moments ago in the prologue, and look guys, no spoiler warning for this, in its entirety this is mostly a theory written by Thomas Bacon and annotated by myself, but there's a chance that this could be real, so just be forewarned of that if this ends up playing out during the movie. But he looked at all of the evidence for Black Widow in the entirety of the Infinity Saga and concluded that she may have some sort of super serum, some sort of superhero enhancement along the lines of what happened with Captain America. And here's his evidence. David Harbour's Red Guardian, who we will see in the upcoming Black Widow, has the exact same thing, and there's also a precedent for Natasha to be superpowered in the comics. There was a miniseries back from 2004 where they showed all of the Red Room agents having their abilities heightened due to experiments of the biochemical nature, and if you're wondering why this would never be revealed by Black Widow or elsewhere, it's because she wouldn't remember. In that same miniseries, all of the Black Widows were mentally reconditioned with new memories to forget what had happened to them with the experiments and to remember other things like ballet lessons. Now, they borrowed that ballet lesson detail directly from this miniseries, and we saw it back in Age of Ultron when she sent into her memory bank from Scarlet Witch. It's a very interesting detail to include, and if they're going to follow that down to its logical conclusion, there's a chance it may be revealed that she's gotten heightened abilities as well. If you're wondering what those heightened abilities would be exactly, they give some examples. Her wounds would heal maybe 4 or 5 times faster, a healing coefficient something along the lines of Wolverine but not anywhere near as strong, and an overall genetic enhancement against things like sickness and disease. She would be all but immune to most of them, as well as age very slowly, something that we do see in Captain America, which could explain why Nat has looked so young this entire time. Now remember, this was shot over the course of 10 years in the middle of Scarlett Johansson's life, and that's of course why she looks like she hasn't aged as much as, say, Robert Downey Jr., who was a bit older when they started filming. But regardless of her aging, she was picked as one of the very first members for the team called the Avengers by Nick Fury, with the sole purpose of being a reactionary soldier force against an alien threat or any other foreseen enemy that the US could not yet deal with. And in doing so, Nick Fury would not have picked someone who was not physically able to take on that fight. He also knowingly paired her up with the Hulk, Tony Stark, Captain America, and Thor. Now, outside of Hawkeye, whose skill set and origins have yet to be revealed in the MCU, but that we will see more of in the upcoming Black Widow, and then I'm guessing we'll learn his origins in the Hawkeye TV show in less than 2 years on Disney+. Either way, outside of him, the rest of those soldiers are ridiculously powerful. I don't think Nick Fury would have chosen to include someone like Black Widow unless he knew that they could fight side by side as equals. And there's actually evidence of her being superhuman in the MCU in just a couple of scenes, the first of which happens during the first Avengers movie. Now, if you want to dismiss this as basically Joss Whedon and everyone over at Marvel Studios just ignoring physics to have a cool scene, you can go ahead and do that, but then think to yourself how every detail of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is steeped in realism, and then think about this scene. I think they did it intentionally when Captain America, again during the first battle for New York at the end of the first Avengers movie, flips Nat up onto the Chitauri rider. Now, she catches it one-handed, and if this was real physics, it would have ripped her arm right off. Instead, she's able to hang on. This is very interesting foreshadowing and actually parallels something that Captain America did when he held onto the building and held the helicopter. Coincidence or not, they're both holding aircraft, one of which is a man-made helicopter, the other is an alien spacecraft that's already going top speed, and she's able to hold on with one arm without doing damage. Now again, I know some of you are going to take to the comments to say, hey, this is just a movie scene, but Avengers have never been treated that way, and if they did treat details like that in some spots, and trust me, this community has been quick to point them out, it's usually under such good construction and in context of everything else that doesn't stick out so sore, pun intended. Regardless, if you want to use that scene as evidence of Natasha Romanoff being enhanced, let's admit they've been enhancing individuals in the MCU since day one. We don't yet have mutants, so if they hadn't have been, well, it would have been hard for them to have any superheroes at all. And in doing so, they've set a precedent that makes it pretty easy to accept that at some point Natasha Romanoff's Black Widow may have been the recipient of such. Also considering that the US and Russia would have been in some sort of Cold War even back then, the arms race, the space race, and of course if they're trying to race enhancing individuals, Black Widow may have gotten a super soldier serum that just wasn't quite as strong because they were still working on it, explaining why she's super powered but only slightly more than the normal human being. There's one more piece of evidence from the most recent trailer, and again it has a lot to do with physics. It's when Black Widow lands on her knee in a superhero landing that is starting to become a bit of a trope in and of itself in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, although trust me, I'm not getting tired of it. We saw Spider-Man do it, now we're seeing Black Widow do it. Any normal person would blow their knee out if they landed like this. Of course, Deadpool has made a number of jokes about the superhero landing, but regardless, in the case of physics, especially in a realistic world such as Avengers Endgame, well, as realistic as it can be, physics either count or they don't. And if she is not superhuman, then they're just ignoring them so that she can have a cool action sequence. Again, trolls are going to take to the comments to be like, hey guys, physics, they just did a movie about time travel. But yeah, if they just ignored physics altogether, if there weren't reasons behind the things they did, then people wouldn't care as much about these movies. Either way, you have to decide for yourself what it's meant to be, and if it really matters for Black Widow. If it's revealed that she's enhanced, yeah, maybe it sheds a new light on her character, but really everything that's going on with her is mental, and where her allegiances lie. As it was in the comics, her arc has always been about being a double agent and where she's truly at home, and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe they've translated that to mean where her family is. If it's revealed that she's enhanced or not, it doesn't really change where her character sits in the narrative, but I think there's a lot of evidence that would argue we're probably going to see something like that. You've got to imagine, of everything we talked about during this video, the one piece of evidence that Marvel chose to include the ballet scenes as a way of covering up her old memories means that they're already borrowing from that exact story where she received some sort of enhancement. Plus, we've seen her on screen battling all sorts of top warriors from across the universe, namely besting Proxima Midnight. I'm guessing that she's enhanced in some way. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. A, do you agree with Bacon's original premise that Black Widow is indeed enhanced in the MCU and there's evidence for it? I'll go ahead and try to link that article down below in the description, but basically everywhere's re-reported on it in the last 48 hours. You can find it in a lot of places. B, do you agree with the details that I've added as extra pieces of evidence? Both Nick Fury choosing her to be on the Avengers team, knowing who she'd be fighting side by side with, knowing who she'd be fighting against, and of course the other evidence of physics, maybe not as important. You know, you've got to let superheroes have superhero scenes. You can't hold them to all sorts of physics again, or we would have never had time travel or the Infinity Stones or really anything in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, it's a fine line they walk between realism and fantasy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's because they do it so well that we're willing to suspend disbelief just a little bit and overlook things like arms getting ripped off or knees that should have been blown out. Let me know what you think in the comments about all of this, guys. I'm all ears, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. Before I let you go, we're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which now is at 550,000 subscribers, which we're halfway to and could easily hit by next month's end. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and that'll automatically enter you to win all the rest of the prizes here at the channel, like the 2 limited edition Infinity Saga box sets. Now, these were completely sold out from the original pre-sale, limited in production to 4,000, and when people got their hands on them, they jacked up the price way on eBay. We got our hands on 2 during the pre-sale here at the channel. We'll be giving away 1 on New Year's Eve. That's little over a week away, regardless of the subscriber count. The only way to enter this is the same as the rules that apply, and I'll be heavily weighting more recent comments. So if you want to get in on this Infinity Saga box set, the best thing to do is hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell with notifications turned on, leave a like and a comment on this video, and then because it's truly random, over the next week or so, the more videos that you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. And of course, it enters you to win all the rest of the prizes here at the channel, which after the first of the year and the giveaway for the next Infinity box set, I'll be telling you guys how we're doubling down here at the channel. And instead of just giving away PlayStation 4 Pros, which we'll still do at all of the 50,000 subscriber marks, we'll also be giving away Oculus Rift VR sets. Guys, my name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. If you're traveling this holiday season, wherever you're going, be safe, be happy, and stick around. We will post again here real soon. We've got some doozies coming up for you through the rest of the year. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Stick around. I'll see you guys real soon.